What's up, guys? I am going to be doing a first impression review of the new brand new album, Science Fiction. Now, when I woke up this morning, I did not think that I would be listening to the new brand new album, but here we are. I have a lot of thoughts about it on the first listen, so I'm going to share them with you right now. So yeah, it's been a kind of weird week. Brand new, had a couple tracks come out last year, I Am a Nightmare, Mean, and Sealed to Me. And they were all good tracks in my opinion. I thought I Am a Nightmare was especially catchy. But there wasn't really any release date about when the album would be coming out. Now, all of us brand new fans are rabid and, you know, they have a huge cult fan base for a reason. It's because they're one of the best emo, pop punk, rock, post-hardcore, whatever you want to put them in, whatever box you want to put them in, they're great at whatever they do. So the other day, the internet descended into chaos when they randomly, on their music label, Procrastinate Music Traders, put up a vinyl pre-order for a very limited vinyl that crashed the site within 30 minutes of it going up, if not less. I saw the email right when I woke up, and it was already after the crash, so I thought I missed the very limited vinyl of one of my favorite bands' new album. I was really upset, but over the course of the day, if you waited and refreshed like a maniac like I did, they put up more of the very limited vinyl, which some are saying is limited to 5,000, which is not that limited. Some are saying it's less. Some are saying there's multiple tiers of what it is. No one even knew at the time what the album was called, what the track list was, or anything about what made the album deluxe, or special, or limited. Anyway, like a good brand new fan, I bought it without question. It was $50 including shipping, give or take, which is a lot, but for brand new, I promise you it will be worth it. So imagine my surprise, like a day later, all of a sudden, there was word that they were sending out CDs that were hand numbered out of 500 copies that supposedly contain the upcoming album. Now, I was in shock. I was not mentally prepared for this. It's been a long time since Daisy, and I was like, all right, let's do it. It's coming out, let's listen to it. Now, Brand New's a really unique band because they started off with Your Favorite Weapon, which is a solid, arguably the best pop punk record of all time, but evolved into Deja Entendu, which is one of my favorite records ever, and one I waited 12 hours in line to get the special edition at Record Store Day a few years ago, but I digress. Deja was a more evolved version of Your Favorite Weapon. It still had pop punk elements to it, but it definitely had a more mature, emotional sound to it. And it's special. There's not really an album like it that I can think of. It then turned into The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me, which was a very aggressive, almost post-hardcore album. Still capturing some pop punk elements, but definitely their angriest to date. And those three are widely regarded as amazing, all the way through. However, Daisy, their fourth album, was a bit divisive for the fans. Now, I think that Daisy grew on me really hard. At first, I did not like it. I thought it was straight up bad. But over the years, I've grown to really enjoy Daisy. It was my fourth favorite of the four, but still, solid album. So, the new album, where does it rank? Where are they going with their sound? Is it going to be aggressive like Daisy? Is it going to be kind of back to pop punk roots? No one really knew. With the I Am a Nightmare song, it seemed like they might be going back to pop punk. But with Science Fiction, we got something entirely different. So Science Fiction is the name of their fifth LP, and they officially released the download, so it wasn't a leak. They were like, here it is, if you bought the vinyl, here, enjoy the album. And I love these surprise drops as much as I hate them, and I hated it because I was not prepared for it, but I listened to it, and I have a lot of thoughts. The most interesting thing to start off with is that the album did not contain any of the tracks they released last year, so that leads me to believe maybe there's going to be another album or some unreleased demos that are going to be released, and this might not be the last new batch of brand new music that we'll ever get. Oh yeah, this is supposed to be their final album, which is very sad for a big fan like me, but every band has this moment, and this is theirs, I suppose. Let's dive right into it. I'm going to give a little track-by-track review on my first listen. Now, this is a very heavy, dense album. There's a lot going on, and I definitely can't capture it all in one listen, but here are my thoughts from the first. Lit Me Up is the first track on the album, and it starts with this kind of vocal interview type thing with a dark and brooding beat behind it. It definitely reminded me of Devil and God straight off the bat. It evoked Devil and God because of these murky instrumentals throughout the song. It definitely felt more mature, like the band had reached a new echelon in their emotional career, and I feel like it lived up to that for the rest of the album. I thought this was a great opening track. Can't Get It Out is a very straightforward pop punk song, swelling choruses, good lyrics, super catchy. This song was not complex or surprising in any way, but much like I Am a Nightmare, it is infectious, and it was just kind of a perfect song. I got nothing bad to say about it. The emotional and vaguely nostalgic guitar riffs really just wrapped it up really nicely. Waste almost felt like a alt-rock song from the 90s, but the ending surprised me like nothing else. It was this gorgeous tableau of sound just cascading over itself. It really took the song to the next level for me, and up until then I was about to be like, it was okay, but that ending is just, when it breaks into it, it is magical. Could Never Be Heaven, really pretty, short track, acoustic. It had faint female vocals behind Jessie, from what I can tell. It might have just been falsetto, I'm not sure, but it was a really simple track, and I really liked it. Now let's talk about Same Logic Teeth. Now, Same Logic Teeth is a complete homage to a band that Brand New idolizes and is very open about. I'm talking about Modest Mouse. Now, this song sounds like a Lonesome Crowded West era Modest Mouse song, and that's not a bad thing. Much like how the Killers do Bruce Springsteen in that kind of like spiritual way, this felt like something the band has wanted to do for a long time. Just a straight up, even like the screaming parts where Jesse Lacey screams versus when he's singing, kind of like how Isaac Brock does it in the Modest Mouse songs back and forth. It just was very similar, but not in a rip-off way. I actually really like this track. And parts of this song sounded like it could be on Daisy, which is interesting. 137 definitely had a Devil and God feel to it, and this might be my favorite song on the album. It's dark and entrancing. I really like the lyrics especially. There's one lyric in particular that was really powerful when it was sung. I'm gonna read it just because I don't want to mess it up. Let's all go play Nagasaki, we can all get vaporized. Hold my hand, let's turn to ash, I'll see you on the other side. Something about the way he said it, just in the song, with almost like a cheerful, whimsical kind of vocal tone. It was haunting. It was very powerful. This song is just a powerful, great song. This is arguably the most brand new song of the album thus far. And it leads directly into Out of Mana. Now, Out of Mana opened with this crazy drum and guitar part that was incredibly frantic, and the song actually took a page out of Deja Entendu in my opinion. And especially the ending, where about 4/5 of the way through the song stops and breaks into these wind chimes, and all of a sudden, the ending acoustic bit is a little lo-fi part that reminds me of Play Crack the Sky, which is one of the most beautiful songs in the Brand New catalog. In the Water might have been the coolest song on the album. It had this Pink Floyd type intro, and the song itself was like nothing Brand New has ever done before. Well, let me take that back. It evoked some elements of Limousine from Devil and God, a little bit of Jaws theme Swimming from Deja, but it definitely had a more kind of interesting... It just had a... How do I describe this? It just had this Pink Floyd type lens over it that was absolutely beautiful. This song was unlike anything the band has done before, and I honestly think it's one of their best songs off the first listen. The guitar work in Desert is hypnotic, and when the drums came in, it is just perfect. It's a really solid track. It almost sounds like it could soundtrack a Western that took place in Latin America. That's what I thought when I heard it, and I don't know if you can agree with that, but that's just what I thought. No Control is a nice song, but I think this is probably the most forgettable song on the album. This is probably going to be the No Seatbelt song of this album, and it's a good song. I just don't really have anything to say about it. The outro is a little weird, and you'll see why when you listen to it, but yeah, it was fine. 451 was supremely bluesy for Brand New. Honestly, they don't really dive into blues head first, but this song felt almost like it had Black Keys elements. Another really solid, surprising track. And then Batter Up is the final track on the album. Now, this was an 8-minute and 27-second song. It's very pretty, very emotional. It almost sounds a bit like Jesus at times, or at least that same kind of feeling that I get when I listen to Jesus. But this is a long song that didn't feel quite as long as it did, and that last third of the song was an ambient outro. I mean, it starts with a little bit of light guitar, but then it just breaks into this kind of ambient feedback, and it's a really pretty and powerful moment where I had this realization that this might be the last time that I'm going to hear a Brand New album for the first time, which is really sad and super unfortunate, but hey, that's life. So the album's quite long. It's over an hour, and it's, I think, absolutely excellent. It's not overly mind-blowing, it's not groundbreaking, but it's immensely enjoyable. Even though I love it on first listen, I do think that there's a strong potential for it to grow on me very hard as I listen to this maniacally over the next week or two. Their angst and their anger has been replaced with cosmic questioning and reflection. It really does feel like a mature direction for the band. If you're looking for that aggressive, screaming Brand New, you're a couple years too late. While there are moments on the album, it definitely is one of their quieter, more introspective albums of their discography, and if you want that loud screaming stuff, you can go back. There's plenty of it to choose from. There's also a lot of water and ocean imagery throughout the album. I want to kind of dissect that as I do future listens and see exactly what they're going for with that. This is an incredibly well-crafted album done by extremely talented musicians, and ones that we've come to love over the past 2 decades. I'm really stoked for the limited vinyl. I'm excited to see what it's, why it's limited. If I have to give this an arbitrary score out of 10, like I do on my first impression listens, I would genuinely give this a 9 out of 10. I think this is easily one of the strongest albums of the year. Definitely going to be on my top list, probably quite high up there, and maybe my favorite album of the year after a few more listens. I gotta dive in. I'm probably gonna listen to it again right after putting this video up. I want to know what you think of this album. Is this album something that you love as a brand new fan? Was this your first introduction to brand new? Was your thought? Leave a comment and let me know what you think. This is a really exciting time to be a brand new fan. They announced their tour, farewell tour, supposedly, vinyl release, surprise album drop. This is cool, and I think that it paid off in spades. So let me know your thoughts, leave a comment. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please subscribe.